The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. My name is Steve Halverson. As a manager of VetNet, I'd like to thank all of you for taking time out of your schedules to join us today. We'll be covering the functions and benefits of Greenlite, as well as how to navigate the software. The facilitator for this webinar will be Ted Tufte. Ted's been with VetNet for nearly 10 years and has been managing the Greenlite program since we began making it available to our customers. I take great comfort knowing that Ted is managing this program, and I'm very confident that the knowledge he's going to share with you today will allow you to utilize Greenlite to its fullest potential. So, without any further delay, I'd like to introduce Ted.
Good morning, everyone. I've probably spoken with a lot of you over the last few years with Greenlite. I want to welcome you to the webinar and thank you for coming. I know for some of you this is going to be a refresher. We're going to go over a few things, and for some of you this is your brand new first real training for Greenlite. So just a little bit, Steve introduced me. My name is Ted. I am the Greenlite Program Manager and the Project Manager at VetNet. We're the Parts and Service Division for the Winter Group. What that means to you, for those of you that have vending machines that you purchased from the Winter Group, is that you contact one phone number, you contact VetNet, and we help you with your Greenlite questions. We help you with your machine questions. So you have a one-source call for everything that you need. We have a whole team of service and parts people here always ready to help you. We handle your help we take your phone calls, we handle by email. We also have an online chat that you can use. So the Winter Group is founded in 1931. We're a family-owned company for over 88 years. We have several different divisions. We manufacture, we provide service and parts, and of course sales of vending machines and other parts. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk mostly about the Greenlite software and how you can use it to best run your business. So give you all the tools that you need to be successful in saving money, saving time, and eliminating things that you don't need in your business, like extra stops, extra trips into businesses and such. So we're going to talk about the hardware a little bit first. I just want to refresh everyone on the different pieces of hardware that come in your machine. So most of you probably received your machines and probably already had the hardware installed. You had the telemeter box, which is the orange box, the card reader on the front of the machine, which is what the customers see, and then the antenna on the top of the machine. For those of you that are not familiar, you can also purchase Greenlite kits outside of being installed in your machines, and you can install them in your machines, and not just Winter machines, but there's many other manufacturers that will work perfectly fine with our Greenlite card readers, so that you can install them in your entire fleet of machines. I did fail to introduce Ashley. Ashley Connor is our guest speaker today, and she is with Nebraska Nutritional Vending, and she has been doing vending for how long, Ashley?
Good morning. We've been at it for about 5 years, I think. So, and I to Ted's point, where you can install these on any machine, my business partner, Matt, and I have retrofitted about 20 of our machines ourselves with the Greenlite devices and putting the antennas and everything on it. It is super easy. So I would highly recommend it if you have other machines and you don't have the software and the hardware on there to do it. Matt and I wouldn't have gotten into this business if it wasn't for the ability to monitor our machines and track all of our sales and stock levels online. It makes life so much easier.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. And we're going to refer to Ashley and get some of her real-life experience. As many of you know, I can speak for how it's supposed to work. I can speak for how I'm seeing it work for every customer, but having Ashley tell us how it's working for them and how they use it to manage their business best is quite helpful as well. So next thing we're going to talk about here, I know we offer two different platforms, and some of you may be using our Greenlite Cashless platform, which gives you some great tools. You can track your sales, obviously, both cash and credit. You can also track what items are selling, and get some basic reporting, and you get the basic tools to run your business. We're also going to talk today about some of the features that are available with the Greenlite data package. So I just want to make sure everybody can see and understand maybe the differences. One of the obvious things that you can look at while you're logged into your Greenlite to determine whether you have which package is whether you have a cache tab at the top of your screen. If you have a cache tab, then you have the data package. If you do not have a cache tab at the top of your screen, then you have what's called our Greenlite Cashless. Both are great platforms, and the right one for you, maybe the one you have, maybe the other one. So we're going to show all the features today and walk through some of the basics. So the first thing that I just go about for people that are getting started, when you first start with your Greenlite and you first get your Greenlite and you're installing your machine on site, you need to gather some basic info so you can set up your Greenlite so that everything's showing up properly. So you want to gather the device number. If you only have one machine, it's not a huge deal, but when you're deploying 3 or 4 machines, you're going to want to gather that device number because that's how you're going to link that machine on the website. You're going to want to record down the location name, the address. You're going to want to record down possibly the contact information of the site. You want to have all that information because it's all going to tie together once you get logged into the Greenlite. You're also going to want to make that initial list of where you're putting your product in your machine so that you can tie it all together. You will want to put down how many you're putting in. You're going to want to put down how many items that coil will hold, and that's for the data users so that you can put the whole system together. So you want to gather the basic information to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up our Greenlite demo site now, and what I'll do is I will show you how that how it's going to show on your screen, and how that's going to work out best for you. Give me 1 second here. I'll bring up that. Okay. So when you first go to log in, you will have received an email. You're going to receive an email to set up your password. I know that most of you are probably way past that, where you have your password set up and you're ready to log in. So the login site, greenlite.mycantaloupe.com. As a reminder for those of you that may not know the total connection here, Greenlite has a back end of Cantaloupe. Cantaloupe manages our back end, and so we have a large power behind the back end of Greenlite, well-established back end. So once you put in your username and password, you're going to go ahead and click on sign in. I like to remind everybody that if you get your password wrong twice, it's always best to click on forgot your password. To be completely honest, it happened to me this morning. But if you get your password wrong 3 times, it does lock you out of the system for security purposes, and you need to contact your administrator, which is us, our team here at VenNet, so that we can get you unlocked. Of course, we can do that by email or phone, but it's, of course, inconvenient when you get locked out. So I'm going to go ahead and click on sign in. So the demo site that I have here has a lot of live data on it. So when I get logged in here, you're going to see several machines that are already deployed. You're going to see actual sales on here. So I want to walk through the basics of getting set up. How many of you have actually gotten things set up? So I'm going to go ahead and put a poll out here and launch the poll here. I want to know kind of how much you guys have been using the system. How familiar is everybody with the system? So the way that the system works here, I'll go over the main page here. So when you first log in after you've got your machine set up, you're going to see all your machines here. Your machines are going to be listed with the asset ID, which is what's auto-generated in the system. You can always rename that. Your device number is going to be listed, and that's how you really know which machine is which. So that's why you gather that device number from the machine itself. from the orange box. Once you assign it, you'll see that you have a location, name, and place where you've assigned it to, and it auto detects what kind of machine it is. So some of the examples here, you can see there's a lot of other manufacturers out there. As I said, we can put a Greenlite in most machines that are MDB capable and have a DEX harness or a DEX connection on them. You'll see here what says sales since last restock. One of the main parts of Greenlite is pressing that red restock button on the orange box. That's what generates most reports. Whether you're a data user or a cashless user, you're going to be able to track what your sales are between each visit, and it's going to tell you, well, here's how much you're bringing in between each visit. Now, the amounts you see on the main page here are always your cash and credit linked together, whether you're a cash customer or whether you're a data user. You're going to have it all linked together there. You can always click on any of these amounts to get a more detailed report. So again, today, I tell every customer, don't rely on today, because the way that our system works is every 4 hours, it gathers your data and sends your data over. So when I look at this right now, it probably doesn't have my data for the last 4 hours. So every 4 hours, you want to go ahead, and that's when the information is going to come through. I never rely on today because it's not going to be 100%. So when I look at yesterday, obviously yesterday is a complete amount. Week is always a rolling 7 days. Month is a rolling 30 days, and year is a rolling 365 days. When you click on one of these amounts, I'm going to go ahead and click on this 5350 here, and it's going to, yes, yeah, Ashley.
Hey, it's Ashley. The poll is still showing on my screen, and I don't know, I can't see the demo site that you're in.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true for everybody or just me.
Oh, well, let's close this poll here. Can everybody see the screen now?
Now I'm seeing it.
Okay. Sorry about that, everyone. I perhaps missed a couple steps there. Sorry. So as I was saying, I'll just go back slightly here. So on the main page, you're going to see the sales that just pop up after you have everything set up. Week, month, year. And you can click on any of those amounts here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the week, which is 5350 here. And this will bring up a list of what those sales are for that week. Now, it's going to give you the date range here. And this is where you're going to see some differences whether you're a data user or a cashless user. If you are a cashless user, you'll see the date range here, which is going to be a fixed date range. And you're going to be able to look through what these sales are. Now, of course, this relies on you setting up your planogram, and we're going to walk backwards to that in just a minute here. If you are a data user, you have the option to show options here, and you can change that date range and edit many other things here. Some of the more detailed stuff we'll go through in another webinar here.
And okay. I will say, this is Ashley again. I will say that we use those sales numbers daily, and we look at trends by site, and we determine where we're going to go the next day based on daily sales numbers. So having that data at your fingertips is key to, I think, having efficiency in running your business and knowing where you need to go and when. So for us, that has been hugely beneficial.
Good. And you'll see on most of our screens that there is an option to export to Excel. So you can export most of the reports to the out to Excel if you want to add additional information, or just save things as shots for yourself. So as I said, when you log in, you'll be at machine sales. Now, for some of you that haven't set up your planograms or anything, haven't set up your customers, you're not going to have anything here because your machines are not deployed yet. It defaults to a deployed view here. So when you first log in, you'll have to change it to all or change it to not deployed. And this will bring up your machines that you don't have deployed. Deploying a machine is, of course, optional, but it allows you to assign it to a customer to get that full view of where your machines are located at. Just for those of you that are adding questions, we are going to do some questions at the end. I've reserved plenty of time to go back and look at individual questions and answers. So when we look at this planogram here, you'll see that there's some machines that are not deployed. For instance, this one. So the first step, whether you're, when you're first starting your Greenlite, is to go to Setup and go to Customers. This is where you're going to set up your customer. Obviously, if your machine's in your own place, your own shop, your own beauty shop, your own building, you're going to be the customer. But if your machine's at a manufacturing plant somewhere, that's what you'll create here. So you put down the name. For instance, I'm going to put down here, I'm just going to put down Ted's demo. And then you're going to want to go ahead and put in as much info here that you can. The code is optional, but the rest of the information here is probably information you want to put in, because this is going to track where your customers are. This is going to help you out in being able to reference where your machines are at in the future. Now, most of our pages have a little camera right here at the top. So if you do get lost in the future, you can go ahead and watch that little video clip there on how to set things up. So you'll put in the basic information here, and you will hit the save button here. So I'm going to put some just basic info in here because it does require some of the fields to be filled out. Once you click the save button, it's going to go ahead and give you the ability to save that as a customer. So now that customer will appear in your list of customers. As I said, I'm using a demo site, so it does have several customers already in here. Once you start entering customers, it will go ahead and start telling you how many assets you have at each customer. Once you've created your customer, you'll go back to the machine sales page, which is your main page when you first log in. Now, for all of you users, you can go ahead and always just click on that Greenlite icon in the top left corner. That always takes you back to that main page, which is your main view when you first log in. So you'll change to not deployed, and you'll click the go button. In my case, I'm going to deploy the first machine here that I set up. And what we're going to do that, once it loads here, is we're going to click on the asset ID number, which is the number that you're always going to want to click on. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this asset ID number I created right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on Edit Machine Settings. And then what I can do here is I will have an option to deploy this machine. I'm going to get a better example here for you. But you're going to click on Deploy this machine. And that's going to allow you to deploy the machine to a customer. So I apologize, my example wasn't working there. And what deploying really means is that you are going to assign it to that customer, so that it's assigned to that customer in that location. And then on the main page, when you first see it, it will be an easy, quick glance to that's where that machine belongs. So as I said, we're going to go ahead and click on the asset ID. I created one here called Webinar Demo. And I'm going to click on Edit Machine Settings. And it's telling me that this machine is not deployed. So I would go ahead and click on this Deploy Machine here. And then it's going to let me choose the customer. And it's going to let me choose the location. You can further put in here a further place. So if it's upstairs or downstairs, or maybe you want to identify it as the break room versus the manufacturing plant, you can put that in here. It allows you to capture the machine serial number. So that's the serial number of your machine. So again, the Greenlite system lets you track all that information. Have you found that helpful, Ashley, on your end?
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely have. And that's something that we try to load for all of ours. And I do it from my phone while I'm at a site deploying a machine, so I make sure I have it. Because if you ever need to call in to support, tech support for anything, they may ask for that serial number. And it's so easy to just be able to pull it up on your Greenlite on your phone. I use my phone a lot to pull stuff up and have it there at your fingertips. So I would highly recommend doing that.
Okay. So it does let you put in some more information here about the type of machine that you have, what kind of machine it is, um, and then you can also set the other important things to set up here is your cash discount. If you're not familiar with cash discount, that's where you can set the price. Your machine price that you have set in your machine is what that cash price is going to be. You put a sticker on the front of your machine that says the price on the machine is the cash price, which includes the cash discount. This allows you to get the extra 10 cents price when people are using their credit cards. Helps you cover the percentage of the transaction fees. So once you set this information here, you're going to go ahead and hit the save button, and it'll save that information. And then that allows you to set up your planogram for your machine. So before you can set up a planogram, you got to set up your items. So you're going to go to Setup, and you're going to go to Items, and this is where you'll add the individual items for your machine. So you're going to click on Add Item if you haven't already created it. And when you go to add the items, I tell everybody the item code is completely something you can put in whatever you want. You can use a true UPC number off your product, or you can use your own numbering scheme. And then the name is going to be the name of the product. I do recommend using a standard naming scheme in here so that you can easily sort your items, easily find your items. The example I usually use is putting in Coke and then a space and a dash, 12 ounce, and then doing a similar setting for 20 ounce or 24 ounce or 8 ounce, whatever you're vending. With the Greenlite system, we've already preset several manufacturers in the system. So you can go through and choose one from the drop-down box. Same thing with category. You can choose one that's in the drop-down box. So that's all preset up there for you. Again, we have a little camera up here so you can watch a little video if you need to know how to set that up. So that's all.
And I would recommend.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I would recommend with your item names being as descriptive as possible. For us, we have different sizes of chips that might be the same flavor. So I'd put Ruffles, large bag, Ruffles, small bag. And like Ted did, Coke, 12-ounce can or 16-ounce bottle or whatever it is, because that stuff will show up on your planogram later when you're going to, pull stock to take to machines. And so the more descriptive item, descriptions you can have, the more it will be helpful for you later.
Great. So once you've created your items database and you've deployed your machine, the next part of it is going to be setting up your database or setting up your items in your machine. So again, you're going to click on that asset ID number, and then you're going to go ahead and click on Edit Planogram. Now, I've already created the planogram in this one, and there's several items already assigned here. But changing your items is very simple. You just delete what's there. I'm going to go with number 11 here where it says non-existent coil. I'm going to delete what's there, and I'm going to start typing in the description of the product that I've created. So in this case, I'm going to type in Coke, and it's going to bring up a little list of everything that has Coke in it that I've created. So this is going to be a 12-ounce Diet Coke in this selection. Now the view I'm showing you here is for a data user. So a data user is going to have these additional fields. They're going to have a par, which is how full you plan to fill it on each visit. So in this case, I'm going to put in 20. And the depletion is at what point you want to be alerted. Now the system does this in a couple different ways. It highlights it in red. It'll also show up on some of your reports that we'll go through real quick today. So I'm going to put down 5 because I know that if it gets that low, people are going to buy more. Now the capacity. The capacity is how many will fit in that selection. In my example, I'm going to put down 25. That there's 25 items that will fit in that column for this machine. Then there's the price field, which is a fixed field. Now that is what the machine is sending in, saying, hey, my price is set to $0. The desired price field is where you can fill in an amount so that it double checks that price. If I put in $1.25 here, I get a little star here saying, hey, it doesn't match. For data users with compatible machines, usually machines here that we manufacture at the Woodern Group, we do offer a remote price option that you can use that desired price field for. You have to enable that. Machine has to be compatible. and it allows you to set prices remotely. And that's what that desired price field can be used for. Again, that has to be a data user.
Yeah, and I do use remote pricing quite often because we'll switch product around in a machine and then I'll realize I forgot to reprice it at the machine. So I will remotely price it later from my home office or whatever and set the right price on items. And then it'll push it through with the next data update, usually within, 2 to 4 hours. So that's a very handy function too. The only thing I caution about with remote pricing is that after you have used it, and it's pushed through your update, turn it back off on that machine because it will not allow you to make changes at the machine that will save if remote pricing is on. It will only take the remotely priced changes. So that's the one thing we've learned is that once you're done with remote pricing, turn it back off so that you can make changes at the machine and they save at the machine.
Great. So another thing I caution people on, when you are going to be changing your entire planogram, setting it up for the first time, I do recommend setting a few items, maybe a row, and then applying the changes at the bottom instead of waiting, just in case you have a glitch with your internet or your browser. Do a few and then click Apply Changes so it saves those changes for you. Again, you'll note here, as I said, when your level, which is how many are currently in the machine, is below your below that depletion we set up, it will highlight it in red. So you'll see that my Diet Coke here is in red. And again, if you have questions on setting up your planogram, there's always a little video here that you can watch. I will tell you that we are shooting more videos, and there'll be more videos available on our greenlightvending.com site soon. So I'm going to walk through just a couple other things here that I think that are important. There is a sales tab here that lets you see your sales. So every day it'll show what your sales are, and it separates it by day so that you can view them here. There's multiple places to see your sales information. The visits tab, every time you press that restock button, it logs a visit. So it'll log your visits here, and it tells you some basic information as to what kind of money was in that machine that you took out. The history tab is going to have a history of everything that's been done. You can see here that I adjusted the planogram by Greenlight Demo, which is me. You can also see that there's some other things that get changed here that we changed here just a few minutes ago. The Notes tab allows you to track notes. If you want to make notes as to when you clean the filter on your machine, or when you changed a piece of hardware, clean the bill acceptor, maybe a note that somebody said they wanted a product change, you can track that type of thing here. I'm going to make one quick note back for data users that use the system, use the restock button. There is, under visit time, data users do have the ability to click on that time, and that pulls up what's called the cash ticket detail report. We'll cover that more in another session, but the cash ticket detail report allows you to really track your accounting. So I'll just click on it real quick for a quick view here. So it tracks all the money in your machine. So it talks about this visit, it talks about your lifetime, but it says which bills went to the bill box, which coins went to the coin box, and which coins went to the tube, and how much cash was dispensed in change. So this is the accounting report for most people that are really big on their accounting. I want to walk through just a few other. Go ahead, Ashley.
Yeah. That's something Matt and I use regularly as well, just for our cash reconciliations. Once we've made bank deposits and stuff, you know exactly what you should expect in your cash deposit, and it helps you to tie out everything nicely. So that's a very helpful function too.
Okay. Thanks, Ashley. So a few other things to point out here that I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see before we start answering some questions today. On the cashless tab, which everybody will have, you'll have a few different options here. There's a transactions option, and this actually tracks every single card that's been swiped in your machine. So if somebody says that they got charged something that they shouldn't have, or if you just want to make sure that it's taking certain cards, or which machines took a card last. This is a real-time place to look at it because cards are always processed right away, and they'll show up in this log as soon as a transaction's taken place. So as recent as this morning, it's showing those transactions there. Again, it can be sent to Excel if you need to export it to Excel, but this tracks the sale, which item it is, what machine it is, what the percentage fee is that you're paying out on that, and such. The other option is the payouts. And again, this is very helpful. Your deposits with Greenlite are going to be every Friday, and the cutoff time is Wednesday at 6 p.m. This person happens to be in, or this demo here happens to be in Pacific Standard Time, so it says 4 p.m. there. But this basically will show up on Thursdays, sometimes on Wednesdays, but on Thursdays it'll show up, and that's the deposit you can expect that Friday. Again, you can send this to Excel, you can PDF it, you can click on the actual payout number, and it gives you that detail as to your machines, which machines, and what the gross revenue was, and the fees you're paying for each machine for that week, and then the grand total at the bottom. So that's a great place to get some information there. Every time we do a presentation, I always point out the sales analysis report. Because this is the way that you will be able to separate your cash and your credit. So there's a little video at the top again. You can use a text filter if you want to filter out certain machines. The way I usually run this report is I set the date range. So I'm setting it the 23rd through the 29th, and I run it by machine. There's other options to run it by item or by customer. You can set the group by period. You can run it by service visit, month, week, day. I usually leave it as the whole period. The cash discount option, again, if you're using the cashless price and you have that 10-cent cash discount set up, you can view it either way. So I'm going to use the cashless price, and I'm going to click the Go button. And what this is going to do is it's going to show me each machine. It's going to show me, we're talking about the date range above, and it's going to show me how much cashless units and cashless dollars. It's going to show me the cash. It's going to show me the total. And then it gives a nice percentage here of what percentage of your sales are credit card sales. So it lets you recognize what people are using on your machines. I will make a reminder that our machines do take, the Greenlite takes of course, Visa, MasterCard, Discover, American Express, and of course you've got the mobile payment options as well, your Google Wallet, your Apple Pay. So really Greenlite allows you to capture all those sales that you may miss otherwise. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go back here to machine sales, which is the main page. I'm going to make just a quick couple references here because we are going to have a follow-up webinar here in a few weeks. I'm going to guess probably a couple months, maybe in March. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some more of the advanced features. But just a few things that I'll point out here, and I'm not sure if you use these or not, Ashley, but I'm going to point them out. Maybe if you this is something you guys find beneficial, you can tell me a little bit on how you use it. There's a few things you can do once you have your planogram set up and once you have your PARs set up and you're using the restock button. You can use what's called alerts, and you can use inventory. And this gives you a brief overview of what machines need attention as to whether they're low on stock of certain items, and it separates it by machine. So you can see that this machine here has these items here that have low levels according to your PAR. You can also use under machine scheduling, which allows you to see the machines that need to be visited soon. It tells you how many coil alerts there are, in other words, how many coils need attention, what your sales since last restock has been, and days since you've last been there. Those are the things that drive you to needing to visit a machine. When you're ready to visit a machine, and again, this is for data users, you can run what's called the Quick Pick report. And this is your laundry list or your list of what you need to take to fill the machine. When you click on Quick Pick, it's going to pull up all your machines. It's going to give you, again, that detail of how many coil alerts there are. That's how many coils need attention, how many products need attention, and what your sales since last restock are, and it tells you when the last time is you were there, and press that restock button. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this machine right here. And when you click on Quick Pick, it brings up that list of what you need to take. So this is where the time saving really comes in, because you know what you need to put in your van, in your car, in your box to take to fill your machine. It outlines it all right here. So I need 7 of these and 8 of these. You can put all of that in one cart, in one carton, and take it with you. Once you're there, you stock it, press the restock button, and you move on your way. And then it starts tracking your sales again from how much you stocked it to. So that is where the time saving is.
Yes, and Ted, correct me if I'm wrong, but you do have to have a par level set in order for those Quick Pick numbers to tell you how much you need to pick per coil, correct?
You set up your par, and that's what it bases it on. It bases it on your par. And then when you press the restock button, it resets it to match the level matches the par, and as people buy stuff, your level goes down, and that's how it tracks and knows when you need to go there. Again, the Quick Pick's got a little camera at the top that walks you through it, but the Quick Pick is really meant so that you can fill your machines without having to make multiple trips in and out. When I was doing vending way back in before I started this position here, I did vending with a business partner, and our practice was you go to the machine, you write down what you need, you go back out to the van that's fully stocked with all your product you could possibly need. You get the product, you go back in, you fill it, you go back out, and you move on to your next site. So it's 3 trips in and out to get the one job done. So those are the features I really want to cover today. I don't want to take too much of everybody's time because I do want to answer some of the questions that people have. But I do want to cover one other item here that I think is important that we cover here. So I want to go ahead and just briefly talk about troubleshooting. I want to make sure that everybody just has that basic knowledge of troubleshooting. So, as you already know, we've got a whole support team here that can help you, but there is some basic things that you can do yourselves. If for some reason your card reader is not working, you're getting complaints that it's not taking cards, or you're there and something's not looking right. So the real giveaway is, what does it show on the main display of the card reader? We're talking about the card reader itself. It should say swipe card or tap to pay, which is the default message that shows up. If it doesn't show that, what does it say? And these are the things you want to either run through your mind or write down that you can do before calling support and possibly just resolve the issue. You can go ahead and press the yellow pound button that's on the card reader itself and push that 5 times. And it'll tell you what the signal strength is, and it'll tell you if there's any error messages. And that can be a dead giveaway as to what your problem may be. In most cases, powering off and back on will resolve your problem. But I will point out at this point, if any of you are selling items over $10 or plan to, the card readers are set up as a max price of $10. If you want to sell a higher priced item, all you have to do is give us a call, drop us an email and say, I'm setting up this machine. I'm going to sell a $12 pair of earbuds in this machine, non-standard item, or I'm going to sell some sunglasses in this machine, something that's over $10. And what we have to do is just enable that reader to accept that higher price. Very easy, simply done. So as I said, having problems, power off, back on. Many times it fixes the problem. If you're still having a problem, your best bet is to give us a call from the machine. Give our support line a call from the machine, and we can go ahead and walk you through any fixes. Maybe we can see on the back end what the problem is, and get you up and going. Again, 800-833-4411. is our support number, and we can help you pretty much any day of the week, Monday through Friday. We're here 8 to 5:30 Central Time. So that was the basics on the on troubleshooting. What I want to do now is I want to try and address some of the questions that you guys have posed, and see if I can make sure we answer any questions you have. Give me 1 second here, and we're going to go ahead and switch over to some questions here. Just a second. Okay. So we're always putting up new features, or we try to put up some new features every once in a while and make some changes. Right now, and I didn't show it very well in my presentation, but for data users, we have the most recent adds were remote pricing. We also added a feature so that you can hide your max price. For those of you that aren't totally familiar on how the Greenlight works, when a customer swipes their card, we do not have any type of a pending amount or a hold on people's cards. So the way that it works is somebody swipes their card, basically says it's a good card, and it allows them to make a selection. By default, your vending machine is going to show the highest price that you have set in that machine. So if you are selling $3 Red Bull, but also have candy bars for $1, it's going to show $3 on the screen. They can choose any item for $3 or less in that machine, and their card only gets charged for that one item that they choose. With data users, you have the option on compatible machines to turn that off, so it just says make selection. If you guys, anybody out there has ideas or things that they think that should be added, it's definitely something you can email our group on. And I don't have it up there, but it's G as in George, L as in Larry, A as in Apple at wittern.com. That is our Greenlight administration group, which is a group that will show up in your email that you get after the presentation. Also, you can always call support, and they can get things sent over to us. We try and make things work best and add features that people can use. However, I will tell you that some things we're able to do easily, and other things are major manufacturing events. So again, based on this presentation, if you want to change plans or you want to try the cashless, again, there's only a $3 difference in the plan. We can send you the paperwork. It's just a simple form, and you just basically say, I want to change from cashless to cashless data, or you want to go back and forth. We don't want people jumping back and forth, but if it's something you want us to switch you to, it normally takes just a couple days to get you switched over. So just email us. We can send you the paperwork, and we can get you changed. So a couple other things that people have asked me about is I kind of went over the differences between the cash and the cashless plan and the data plan. I showed you that diagram there. Again, you will get a copy of this video afterwards. So a couple misnomers here. I know that Greenlight does have a back-end management of Cantaloupe. I know that most of you are aware that Cantaloupe was acquired or combined themselves with USAT. However, each of their products are still separate products. So Greenlight, Cantaloupe, USA Technologies, ePort readers, they're all three different things at this point. I don't know that they're going to remain that way, but they are all three different things. So we don't have any way to link them together. So if you do have products that are USA Technologies, you're going to remain with that platform. If you have Greenlight, you're going to remain with that platform. Of course, we can always integrate in and switch you out to different products, but they are separate products at this point. So as I said, we'll have the recording available later. So the sales do update every 4 hours, and so it will cut off based on your machines. So it does cut off by the day. However, your DEX reports come in every 4 hours, so it may not be every 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 12 o'clock type of a thing, because it does prioritize based on if somebody's using your machine, it cannot send a DEX file while somebody's using the machine. So sometimes it gets off by some time, but every 4 hours. A quick thing to point out is if you are in your machine, if you're looking at your machine itself and you're under that asset ID, it does tell you on the right-hand side when the last time was that it collected data. So you can always look at it in there by going into your asset ID. Looking on the far right-hand side, you can see when that data last collected. Ashley, have you ever looked at that?
I was going to say we use that all the time
Okay.
because when I'm planning our routes for the next day, I look at, okay, when was the last time this pulled data on high volume sites? I'll say if that hasn't pulled recently, I'm going to wait till it pulls again, and then I'll pull numbers for the next day. And so that's something we do use regularly and depend on quite heavily.
Okay, great. So just wrapping up a few more things here I want to throw in here. So one thing that people ask every once in a while, we do have a large list of manufacturers, a large list of categories already set up in the Greenlite system. It's a universal database portion of it. So there's a lot of different stuff in there. In case the fact comes up that you absolutely can't find what you need, none of it works, and you really want something added, you can give me an email and we can see if it's something that can be added. Again, it doesn't let us duplicate items, so if the item's already there, I can't really put it in any other different way. But try and use something that's in that list there. It just saves from adding additional things that people have to muddle through to try and find what they're looking for.
And I will say on those, Ted has been hugely, and Daryl too, there have been helpful to us in figuring out how to use those and best use them. There is also an import-export on those items. So if you need to export a total list of everything you've entered for your items to help you make your shopping list or whatever, we've used that feature quite extensively as well.
Okay. But yeah, as I said, most things are importable, exportable, which is a great thing on most of the pages. I will mention this. I know I said the payouts and the transactions are available under the cashless tab. If for some reason you do not have those options, that tells me that you are still boarded with Heartland and you're getting daily deposits. If you want those features, I need to have you fill out some paperwork to get you changed over so that we are managing your funds and able to add those features for you. Real simple form. If you don't have that right now, we can always get you set up with that. Items in the items database that can't be removed, you can turn them, you can change them to inactive. But the way this database is set up, your items are going to be there, but you can deactivate items. So if I go into an item here, it lets me deactivate the item. There's just not an option to delete the item. If it is being used, it won't let you deactivate it.
But you can edit an item too.
Yep.
You can edit the name, you can edit the category you put it in. So if it's something you've made a minor mistake, it's so easy to go back and edit that and make it the way you want to, or change it entirely. Sometimes I've done that too, where we've set up a product code and I don't want it for that anymore, so I change the whole description.
Okay, so as I mentioned before, and you get this in your email, our support number is 1-800-833-4411. You can also email us service@wittern, WITTERN.com. That'll be on the email that you get after the presentation. Ashley, do you have any additional bits of information, helpful pieces of information that you'd like to share?
Yeah, I would just recommend that, you take the time, and there is some time, on the front end to get everything set up, but you will not regret those hours spent setting it up, because it will help you so much later on your back end in efficiencies and planning your routes and knowing your inventory levels and everything that's in your machine, and being able to track your sales and your cash and all of those different things. So spend the time up front, get to know the system, play around in there, and figure out how to make it best work for you, because you really won't regret it. And like I said at the beginning, Matt, my business partner, and I would not have gotten into this business if it wouldn't have been for Greenlite and being able to do all of this online and electronically, because like Ted, I was in this business 25 years ago with my dad, and we did the same thing on a college campus. You go to the machine, you look at what's in there, you go back out to the van, you get everything you need, you go back in and stock it. And it would take so much time doing that. So the way that having this electronic stuff at our fingertips has revolutionized the way that we do business, and it has really made it so much more efficient and so much more enjoyable.
Okay, thank you, Ashley. Just a quick comment on the remote pricing. So when you enable remote pricing, whatever you set up on the website overrides whatever you set at the machine. So I know Ashley mentioned that sometimes she'll use that feature to set prices after she's left a site. So you have to enable remote pricing, and then whatever you have on the planogram overrides what you've set on the machine if it's different. And what I just want to clarify, once you turn that off, it's going to keep those prices that you've sent. However, if remote pricing is turned on and you go to the machine and change a price, it's going to override again what's on the website. So Ashley's comment was basically that if she's going to go back and change the prices on the machine later and go back to that she has to turn that back off.
And you find that under your Edit Machines,
correct,
machine settings button on your homepage for that particular asset. So, yeah, and it's easy to do. I set myself reminders, turn off remote pricing on such and such machines before I go back out to those ones again. So,
one other thing I'll quickly point out for those of you that want to set something up custom, we have there's a machine custom view where you can set up a custom view with the different columns you want. And machine map, if you set up all your addresses, it'll allow you to map your locations. Again, this is a large map because it's got lots of different things on my test view here, but it will list the sites along the side. So that's pretty much everything I wanted to share today. If you have additional questions, our email will be on the email that you receive after this. And you can always email in your questions, service@wittern.com, or always call into support. But we're going to go ahead and have another webinar in a few months. We'll cover more of the advanced features and reporting. And I hope that everybody found today's webinar helpful. Again, if you have additional questions, feel free to give us an email. Thank you, everyone, for attending. Have a wonderful day and a great week, and good luck with your vending ventures. Thank you, Ashley, for joining us today.
Thanks, Ted. Have a great day.
Goodbye, everyone.